Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Julie Nelson. We begin tonight with a surprising court decision that is reigniting a St. Paul family's fight for justice. A court of appeals reversed the conviction of a Minneapolis man in prison for his role in the murder of a 22-year-old man during a botched robbery. A jury convicted DeTwan Allen of aiding and abetting the murder of Alex Becker. Alex's body was found just outside his parents' home in December of 2022. Becker's family told us he was on his way home from work when he was killed. Lou Raguse talked with his family this afternoon, who say they are in shock over this decision. Lou?
Julie, this decision by the Minnesota Court of Appeals is especially tough because it doesn't allow for the case to be retried. And now only one of the three men who were there when Alex was murdered will be held accountable for his death.
Alex Becker was killed so close to his mom's home that she heard the gunshots.
I was waiting up for him to come home.
The 22-year-old was walking home after work when trial evidence shows a car with three young men drove by him, turned around, and got out at seemingly random and shot at least 7 times.
It was like I was outside of my body.
The judge in the case was disgusted as he sentenced DeTwan Allen, one of the young men, to 30 years in prison.
So from the outset, it looked like a robbery. But when you really look closer at the evidence, it's like you guys are hunting.
But the Minnesota Court of Appeals has thrown out Allen's conviction because even though he was there and driving the stolen car, the appeals court doesn't believe there was enough evidence that Allen knew that they were going to kill Alex. Tara Becker is devastated.
I mean, it still is the worst thing that ever has happened to us and ever will happen to us, and none of our family is really ever going to be okay from it.
The primary shooter, Artis Kennard, pleaded guilty and will remain in prison. But Allen will be released within the next 3 years when he finishes serving time for an unrelated kidnapping and robbery. Tara says she's mostly worried he could go on to victimize someone else.
I don't know if he's planned or attempted to make any changes in his life, but if he hasn't, I believe that he is capable of hurting more people. And that really was my main goal in the trials, is to ensure that no other family would experience this kind of pain.
Now, the third suspect from this case was actually acquitted by a judge in his trial. Ramsey County Attorney's Office spokesman says they are disappointed in deciding whether to appeal to the Minnesota Supreme Court, which Alex's family really hopes they do. Meantime, the family hopes that people honor Alex with random acts of kindness. That's something that he was known for.
Well, it is just absolutely horrific to imagine a mother hearing the gunshots and the senselessness of it all. I'm still not really clear what was the reason the Court of Appeals went against what the jury believed and even what that judge appeared to believe.
Well, it's because in order to prove that he was guilty of aiding and abetting in the murder, they would have to prove that he knew it was an intentional murder. The evidence at the trial showed that he ran from the scene and got the getaway car and picked up the other guys. But this appeals court felt like there wasn't that evidence that what's going on inside of his head, which is kind of hard to prove, that there was enough there to say that he knew they were going to kill him when they got out of that car with guns and approached him.
So you'll keep following this case?
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Lou.